Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro. In this video I'm going to take a look at some Commodore Plus 4's and I have a couple of machines that are faulty and I might have a third one I'm going to take a look at. We'll see about that. So let's dive right into it then. This might look a little bit strange, two Plus 4's stacked on top of each other. But it's actually the bottom one that's connected to my TV. Let's remove this. This is actually my own Plus 4, which I bought some years ago from the United States. In fact, it was shipped from a seller there or from eBay, and it costed me a fortune in shipping as well as the machine. And it has been working, but now in preparation for this video I actually turned it on, and as you can see there's a fault. We have some strange characters or parentheses on the screen. They come back on the same positions every time I reset the machine. And if I try to run the built-in programs, it starts up briefly and then just hangs. So it looks like this machine has a memory issue, and first I'm going to take a look at that. I bought this machine some years ago and it was my first Plus 4. It came with an American power supply, and because of that I had to use a step-down converter, which is not very convenient. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. If you need to have produced your own PCBs, then just visit PCBWay and you can get an instant quote for your own PCBs produced for as low as $5 for 5 PCBs. They also do other stuff like advanced PCB. They do CNC machining and 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication and prototype PCB assembly, among other things. Also visit their shared project site where you can find a lot of already made PCB designs. So go ahead and visit PCBWay.com and check out their services. So later I have modified it to have a round power connector so that I can use a regular C64 power supply. And as you can see, the machine looks very nice. I did some restoration work on it before. Then I suddenly remembered this one, and yeah, this one too doesn't work. It has a note here, it says black screen, bad TED question mark, and yeah, it's quite dirty. And this one has not been converted, so it has the square power input. And because of that I need to use the original power supply and the step-down converter. But this actually belongs to Kjell, my friend that runs the YouTube channel Coiro Retro Innovations, and yeah, he has got a lot of interesting video lately. You can check it up, I'll link to it in the description. Here's a screenshot from his channel. So I'll come back to this after taking a look at this one. Finally, I have this, a mystery package. Well, it's not that mystical. It is in fact a Plus 4 motherboard in unknown condition. I bought this recently and I thought I'll take a look at it. If it doesn't work, it can maybe be used as parts. If it does work, then it can maybe replace the motherboard in one of these. Just to confirm that the note I wrote was correct, I'm gonna power this on, and yeah, since it's using a 110 volt power supply, I need to use this step-down converter. Let's see now. Yeah, there's not even a video signal. I can hear some scratchy noise. The power LED is on, but not even a black video signal, nothing. Yeah, you can hear it make some tick, 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 clicky noise. Alright then, let me quickly open the machine and then we can take a look at it. It's a little bit funny with these old retro machines. One day they are working and a couple of years later, untouched, they're not working anymore. Especially these +4 and C16 variants of the Commodore machines are not very reliable anymore. Pull right out. Yes, the motherboard looks very nice. Well, judging by the color of the capacitors, I think I might have not recapped it. Well, if it is a RAM problem, then it should be easy to check because all the RAM chips are in the socket. And for testing the RAM, I use my trusty old Retro Chip Tester Pro, which has been very good, reliable. And I built this myself in a video a long time ago. And judging by the RAM chips, I think maybe I have replaced some of the RAM before. It has 4 of the dreaded MT RAMs. So these MT branded RAM chips are well known for failing. So hopefully it's only that, because RAM chips I have a lot of. So these are 4164 chips. These are labeled 4264. So start with those. 4164. Yeah, that's the correct one. 4164, and this one is one of the non-empty RAMs. I mean empty, not empty. So this does a very thorough testing of the RAM, different types of patterns. So that one passed. Now I'm gonna check one of the empty RAMs. Oh, test failed immediately. Yep, failed. Let's test the rest. Yeah, that's also an empty RAM. That one passed. Alright, I'm gonna test all the RAM chips left and then I'll be back. Yes, all the rest passed. So only this one is bad. Let's test once more just to be sure. Yeah, fails immediately. Let me see if I have one that works. This says MN 4164. Seems to be unused. Yeah, that seems to be good. So then I can just cross off this as not working. Test passed. In with a new RAM chip. If you have a +4 with the square DIN connector, then it's a simple replacement. You just find a round, the same as the C64 has, and then you can use the C64 power supplies. Alright then, is it fixed? Ooh, no, it's worse. Well, that was a easily spotted mistake. One of the pins slipped outside, and yeah, obviously that's not good, but it can easily happen, especially on these small sockets. No chance. I made it worse. Everything looks alright. Chips are in the correct orientation, and every pin is inserted. Just spray a little bit into the socket, some contact cleaner. Nope, maybe that new RAM chip isn't that good after all. I'll try to replace it with another one. Well, it didn't help to replace it with another one. However, then I started to test the rest of the empty RAMs, and yeah, sure enough, there was another faulty one, this one, and no, it works. So that was luckily an easy fix after all. Yeah, I inserted the keyboard. Let's see now if the built-in software runs. That should be a good test that the machine works. Yes, right into the word processing program. That was one fixed. Let's check out the other one. Yes, and here I have already recorded what I did to this machine. I did replace RAM and cleaned it up in 2019. Yeah, and since this was a US version, I converted it from NTSC to PAL. And then the C64 power contact. Alright, let's open up this one then. This is a PAL version. Oops. It's a bit yellowed as well, so it might benefit from some retrobrighting when we get the sun back. It's cloudy today. Yes, it looks to be original, and all the RAM is soldered in, and they're all MT branded. I don't have any diagnostics cartridge for this machine, but I have this diagnostics ROM, and to use this you replace one of the ROMs in the machine. I don't remember which, but I'm going to test that first. Most likely it won't work since there's no video output at all. But with the help of AI, ChatGPT, I quickly found out that it's the kernel ROM obviously, and it's U24. By the way, this machine is very, very dirty inside. Needs a good washing. So let's test the diag chip and see if it actually can operate. I mean, if it's a broken TED chip, then it obviously won't work. Okay. Now, as expected, there's no video out. I'm gonna leave it in for now. If I get this machine working or get some video out of it, I can test other stuff. Now, video output can obviously mean a lot of things, but most probably it's a TED chip that's inside here, but yeah, it could be an electrical issue. I don't remember if I tested. I said I have put an X there, obviously, at some point. Let me just quickly check some voltages. Yeah, let's check the diagram. Yeah, 5.1 volts. Let's check the actual TED chip then. I don't know the pinout, just randomly poking. Couldn't find 5 volts. Yeah, 5 volt in VDD is on pin 4. I think maybe that's one of the only pins I didn't check. Yeah, 5.1. Yeah, it gets quite hot. Okay, I'll pull out the chip. As it turns out, I think I bought one a while back as a spare. Yes, here I have an unopened box with the 8360 from 1987, and the 8360 is the version 2 of this chip. There's also a 7366. Let's put it in. Yeah, it actually looks unused. I don't remember where I got it. It was probably eBay, and it was probably sold as new old stock for a lot of money. Let's see if it goes in smoothly. And the orientation, yeah, that's correct. Yes. Is it a lucky winner? Nope. That did not seem to be the case. Still no video output, and that's a bit strange. Well, there is a difference. If I turn it on, it actually shows SCART and black screen, and no, there is actually a video signal. So this might have more faults then, which is obviously more than likely. Okay, I'll insert the original ROM then again and see if that makes a difference. Kernel ROM back in business. Well, still black screen. Now, I don't have too much experience with repairing plus 4's since I have come across a few of them, but yeah, my next hunch then would be the CPU, and that's an easy thing to check. We have another machine, but I also got that spare board, so I think now it's time to test that and see if it works or not. Just need to do a little bit unboxing first. Thanks to the seller for very nice packaging. Yeah, that looks like a very nice +4 motherboard. It's clean and all. Looks like all chips are here and they're even marked okay. So someone has done something here and the CPU is marked okay. Let's see if the TED chip is there or I was fooled. Yeah, it's there, but it has an X. Def. Okay, maybe we have a bad TED chip on this one. Yeah, I hooked it up now. Well, how come it's been tested before and what background the seller has, I don't know. Well, at least it shows a picture. It showed the picture for a while. Ah, yeah, there's some things going on at least. All right, let's just pop in that new TED that I bought. Hopefully it is working. Oh no, now it just shows the same black screen, but it has a video signal. So then there's two options. Either the TED chip I bought is faulty or something else is wrong with this board too. I see one RAM chip has been very funnily soldered in. Socket that's raised. Okay, I put the TED chip back in the other machine and then I take the CPU from this one. So the CPU in the +4, it's a 7410. It's a variant of the 6510 CPU. They are compatible, but you need to make an adapter if you want to use the 6510 CPU. And then you cannot use the cassette player, I think, or something like that. Let's see if we can find a good combination now. It says okay, so I hope that's true. Oh, that was hard. Then I insert that CPU into this machine and we can test it. Okay, another CPU has been inserted. Let's hook it up again. Well, no change, but now with video, I think we can run the diagnostics chip, see if it shows any output. I mean, it might be a RAM issue also. We might get lucky to see something. Yes. Now it runs, so the TED chip is working and the CPU is working. But something else is not working. It seems to just stop there. It should continue to do a lot of other things. Video of course is working, as you can see. I think it has RAM issues because there's one character that's different on all these screens. Well, the diagnostics test seems to be behaving a little bit differently from run to run, and now we see a lot more of garbage characters when there's obviously supposed to be one character. So definitely this has a RAM problem then, and the problem is all the RAM chips are soldered. So how to find out which of the 8 RAM chips that are bad? Well, I can of course desolder all 8. That's a lot of work. You could also take a known good RAM chip and try to piggyback it on the RAM chips one by one. I have tried that before and never succeeded, but I heard about it and have seen others do it with success, so I might just as well try it. Make sure all the legs are connected to the chip below. No, there's no difference. So I just move the chip from one to the other and it sits very nicely on top. Ah, that looks better. Completely different. No garbled characters. Let's see if it can continue then. It stops there. But then if you restart it, it's no, it's not consistent, unfortunately. But it looks like it actually in the beginning runs quite good when I piggyback U14, this one. However, since it's not conclusive, I think I'd better start desoldering some chips, and at least I can start with the U14 and then pull out one by one and test them, and they are empty RAM, so probably bad. However, before I start desoldering, I'm gonna check a little bit with the oscilloscope, see if I can figure out if there's something else going on, or if I can by that figure out which chip is faulty. Yeah, there is a weird signal, and actually every time the screen blinks, the border blinks, I see it on the scope. So if I probe pin 2 on any of the RAM chips, you can see the signal is below 2 volts, and then every time the screen blinks, it actually jumps up. And pin 2 is in fact the data input for 1 bit, and since there's 8 chips, that's 8 bits at a time. So that means that it might be something wrong with the controller chips for the RAM. I need to find the schematics and just to take a look at that first. Well, I'm just going to check all the other lines on all the chips, the addressing lines, the CAS, RAS, see if everything is okay, and then of course the output. All the addressing line, CAS, RAS, and the write enable, all those things are looking perfectly fine. It's only the data bus that acts up. As you can see, it's very weird signal. It's like it's a bus conflict or something. It's some kind of square wave below 2 volts some of the time, then it jumps up to 4. I'm just going to try pull out some of the ROMs and see if that changes anything. I pulled out one. No, still that weird signal. Nope, still the same. Still the same. This is the worst chip puller tool you can get. No, none of the ROMs did anything. So they're probably not responsible, but now the test isn't running. This is the MOS 6551, and it's some kind of CIA chip. Just gonna pull that out as well. No, we still have the same. Alright then, I'm inserting all the chips, and then I need to check some of the bus control logic and those kinds of things. We have two 74 LS257s. They're probably responsible for the data bus or the addressing bus, I'm not sure. Yes, those two are for the address bus. I hooked up the working +4 just to check the data bus signal on that, and yeah, it's totally different. It looks like this, which seems perfectly fine, of course, compared to this on the non-working machine. I checked a lot more. There's a 7406 there, it's working fine. There's a 7404 there, and it seems to be working fine on the pins that are in use. There's a 7408, and it's also working fine. So I am leaning still towards the RAM. So I'm gonna desolder the RAM and start testing some RAM chips. Yeah, the board is out. It has this shield, needs to be removed, obviously. Yeah, I just start with this one that I suspected first because it gave me an indication when I tried to piggyback. A little bit of flux there, and then oh, that doesn't sound too happy. Nope, it's not sucking. What's the matter? I just cleaned out the solder, but yeah, no, it's not working. Yeah, now it is clean. I think it was just clogged somewhere in here, I don't know. Yeah, it's loose. Almost, yes. All right, let's test the first one, the first suspect. Well, that one seems to be good. Test passed. All right then, good one. Okay, so I'll just continue desoldering chips now, either until I find a faulty one or until I have desoldered them all, and then I'll be back. Well, the 6th chip I removed has a fault. Just try and test it again. I tested it a couple of times. So it starts out okay. It's testing fine on the zeros. 0, 1, 0, 1. Random. Well, this time it passed. So I don't know if this is marginal or what. I tested a couple of times more. Anyway, since I have removed 6 chips already, I just remove the last 2 as well. Then get 8 sockets in. Maybe one of these are faulty. Might get lucky. Yeah, the 6th chip, it just passed again. Okay, so I'm checking chip number 7. Seems to be working fine so far. Passed. Then we have 7 good chips and number 8. Oh, it does detect it. See if there's some bad contact. No. Do we have a winner? It won't detect that it's even in. Well, that's just my bad luck. The last chip I remove is the one that's faulty. All that work for one chip doesn't detect it at all. Right. Okay, then find the replacement here. I think I tested this before, just tested once more. Yes, so now I just need to solder in 8 sockets here and then I'll be back. Wow, that was a lot of work. 8 chips out, 8 sockets in. So, hope there's nothing more wrong with this machine. Let's test immediately. At least it's good to have them all in socket now until the next empty RAM chip fails. Let's see. No, it's the same. Dang. And with the original kernel, still a black screen. Yeah, still that same signal on the data lines. Yeah, when I think about it, this diagnostics test should be able to do a RAM test and indicate faulty RAMs, if I remember correctly. So I wonder about this PLA, or what's it called? I should have thought of this before. I just pulled out all the RAM chips and just see if it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. A little bit different characters and data lines. Yeah, same weird signal, so it's not the RAM that's responsible for that, obviously. But still, we found a bad RAM chip, so it wasn't for nothing. I'm a little bit confused here. This is the CIA chip, 6551. This is another chip. It's some kind of PIO chip. It's a 6529. Aha! The MOS 251641 is the PLA chip. I thought that was just another ROM, since it was placed next to the ROMs. Let me just pull out that chip. Turn on and see. Well, that's something different. Definitely. Looks like something's running, but the character isn't showing. Let's check the data bus now. Ah, now we have something completely different. The data bus looks fine. Look. That's just a normal signal. Well, that's kind of strange. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna pull that chip from the spares board. It actually says okay, so... Oh, should turn the machine off first. It's a good idea. Okay, let's see now. Wow, look at that. That's something completely different. Yes! No, it actually runs. So that's the PLA chip then. I didn't know. I guess I should have read the schematics more properly. So it's testing colors and stuff. Yeah, now it's testing the RAM. Yeah, RAM's okay. Keyboard, we don't have a keyboard connected. So I think it's gonna stop here. Yeah, it says keyboard bad. Starting to test the joysticks. Obviously I haven't connected. Anyway, I think we're one step closer here. I don't have any testing harnesses for this. Yeah, sound. Scrolling. How nice. Now I think this machine is working, so it was a bad PLA. However, not yet there. I'm gonna insert the original kernel ROM. Hopefully it's working. Yes, look at that. How nice. Alright, I think the machine is fixed. I'm gonna assemble it, check out the keyboard, do some cleaning off camera and stuff to make it look nice. Alright, looking good. I cleaned it up and yeah, now it looks almost like new. Cleaned up the keyboard, not inside. I didn't take off the keycaps. I just used the vacuum cleaner and removed the dust. And the keyboard seems to be working just fine. Built-in program. Yes. As a last thing before I complete this video, I thought I'll test a couple of games on the machine just to check out the latest and greatest. There are some new games, or fairly new, released last year and a couple of years ago. If you go to Commodore Plus 4 World, there you find a list of the top 50 games. Number 1, Lycia. Number 2 is Lemmings, and that's a fairly new title. Yeah, 2023. Just gonna download a couple of those. And then we have Prince of Persia. It's from 2024. A lot of other games here. Impossible Mission Plus 4. That's from 2022. I downloaded a couple to the SD2IC, and I'm not really sure if they will run, but we'll try it out. Yes, it for sure can access the disk, so that's working. So you need to use this file browser to find and mount the D64 files you want to load. I made a folder called Plus 4. Yeah, let's try Lemmings. Yeah. Okay, cool music. I didn't connect the joystick. But for sure it works. This is easy. It occurred to me I cannot hook up a joystick because it simply doesn't fit. The Plus 4 has some other kind of joystick ports, those micro DIN plugs, but they are compatible. However, I thought I had an adapter, but I cannot find it. I looked everywhere. Prince of Persia is a nice game. So these new released games are not official games. They are ported from some other version by some coders, different kind of groups, and they do an amazing job, I think. Turn disk, okay. But how do we do that? With the SD to IEC? I have no idea how to change disk, because this comes on 2 floppies. The SD to IEC start blinking now, so we won't be able to test that. But Impossible Mission, it's just 1. That's a great game on the C64. However, this shows that the Commodore Plus 4 and the C16, if you upgrade the RAM, is quite powerful for playing games. But they were unfortunately underutilized back in the day. Yes, it has the speech, of course. Alright, without the joystick, not sure if I can play this. Yeah, you can run for sure, but yeah, how to operate. Okay. Yeah, I think it's not possible to play with the keyboard. It only reacts to some of the keys because they're mapped to the same as the joystick input. So. Stunt Car Racer. Let's just start some practice. Not really sure if you can play this either without a joystick, but it seems to respond to keyboard. Yeah, it's kind of cool, a 3D type of game. Oh no, I'm backing up. Okay, enter is forward. Oh, oh, yeah. Yeah, kind of cool. I'm not sure how you steer because it's not the cursor keys. Alright everyone, that was it for this video. Now instead of 3 broken machines, I have at least 2 working ones, so that's kind of good. So this was interesting. I hope you liked the video too. I just want to say thanks for watching and thanks for all the subscriptions, and special thanks to my members and Patreons. See you, bye bye.